I lived with rats for 3 months. When I purchased my first real estate investment property, the triplex, during inspection, they did call out that maybe there was presence of mice at one point because there was poop here and there. Just small amounts, nothing too crazy. And because the property already had regular pest and rodent service on a monthly basis, I'm like, okay, cool, they should get that when they go in there next month. It's just coming time for me to move into this triplex because I was house hacking it. The day that I start moving in my stuff, I had been in the property late nights all the time because I was doing the renovations myself. But this particular night, I'm moving in my stuff. I hear something running around. So I'm looking around like, what is that noise? And so I go to the kitchen where I think the noise is coming from, and I just happen to open up the cabinet underneath the sink. And I see a fat long tail run back up into the plumbing wall. I said, ain't no way it's a mouse that big in here. I take everything that I moved into the house that night, I put it back in the car. I'm not moving in tonight. Won't be tonight. And so I run to Home Depot. I'm doing my research. How do you get rid of rats? How do you stop them from coming through? So I get all the steel wool that I can and glue traps, and I come back that night, patch up the holes that I saw, put the glue traps out, and I just pray. At this point, I had 2 days to figure this thing out before I officially had to move in the property because my other lease was coming to an end. So I do what I can and I move in. The first day is coming towards the evening, and I start hearing gnawing on the freaking ceiling. Remember, I'm in a basement, so that's where the rats are. I don't know how they're getting in. I don't know where they live yet. This whole property is new to me. I'm looking around at all the types of holes that they could be coming through and where they could come and get me. And so that first night I hear them gnawing, they're really in the ceiling above the living room. I can hear them in the kitchen, and it's bothering me. At a certain point, I've got to go to sleep. So I go to the room and I close the door. Tell me why I heard all the rats that were in the living room above the ceiling run over to the bedroom and start gnawing in the bedroom. So now I'm in the bed trying to sleep, but I can't because these folks are gnawing above my head, and I'm thinking they are trying to get through to me tonight. I could not sleep for weeks. You know, I started calling pest control and all that good stuff, trying to figure out who had the best prices. Because mind you, as I'm kind of mentioned in my other videos, I was losing money. So it wasn't like I had a whole bunch of money to pay for pest control. In addition to gnawing at the ceilings, during the day sometimes, the rats would go to the plumbing wall in the kitchen where I patched the holes up. So now they couldn't get into the kitchen anymore. So they would just gnaw at the freaking wood in the plumbing wall. So I had to deal with that. By the way, this is when COVID hit. So I was working from home every day, having to listen to these rats gnaw. There was one day that the rat actually got through.